This situation right here, what we're going to talk about, is pretty tragic. So we had a TikTok influencer who was on vacation with her fiance, and I think in Tanzania, and she mysteriously passed away.
Ashlee Jenae, the influencer who tragically died on vacation, was involved in a dispute with her fiance, Joe McCann, before her death in Tanzania earlier this month.
Rest in peace to her and to her family, and prayers to her family. But what's even more concerning is how quickly the particular situation caused confusion, caused speculation, and there's a lot of lack of answers, and it's starting to turn into something way more. So listen, I don't want to jump to conclusions on this particular situation, but I do want to look at this because something is off. And I do want to discern, and I do want to go back to the Bible on how we should be treating each other, especially when it comes down to a love perspective. But before we get into it, please do me a quick favor by hitting that like button, subscribe if you enjoy more faith-based content, and please share this with your family and friends so that we can be a blessing to each other. Let's get into it.
This morning, the growing mystery surrounding the death of an American influencer while she was vacationing in Tanzania with her fiance.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
The parents of Ashlee Robinson, known on social media as Ashlee Jenae, speaking with ABC Philadelphia station WPVI after learning their daughter died at a luxury resort in Zanzibar. It happened just days after celebrating her 31st birthday and getting engaged to her boyfriend, 45-year-old Joseph McCann.
She was happy. This is what she wanted. She was starting the next chapter of her life.
Robinson sharing the moment McCann popped the question with her more than 100,000 followers.
She FaceTimed me, showed me her ring. She's like, Papa, I'm happy.
But according to Zanzibar authorities, after hotel guests at the Zuri Hotel reported a romantic conflict between the couple on the night of April 8th, hotel management moved McCann to a separate room about a 10-minute walk away. Well, a few hours later, authorities say Robinson was found unresponsive in her room by hotel staff, appearing to have harmed herself.
I did receive a phone call from Joe. He was not really making sense, but he told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. And he told me that she was stable.
After receiving treatment at 2 hospitals, Robinson declared dead on April 9th. Authorities say they're still questioning McCann and have confiscated his passport while they await the results of the medical examiner's report. McCann has not responded to ABC News' multiple requests for comment. No arrests have been made, and police previously told media outlets that McCann is not suspected of wrongdoing.
So here's what we're seeing from this situation. We got a 31-year-old woman who was out there. Honestly, it sounded like probably one of the happiest trips of her life, celebrating her birthday and also getting engaged at the same time. Wow, listen, a lot of girls, that is a dream vacation right there. That is. Even FaceTiming her family, super happy, smiling, excited, and then everything at the snap of a finger just changed. Found unconscious, rushed to the hospital, and pronounced no longer here anymore. Listen, the first thing that I noticed from this that should hit you is this. How does something go from joy to honestly tragedy so quickly? Like 0 to 100 very fast. That's the first thing that I think about. Like, how did it go from just a happy, one of the joyous moments of your life to just boom, straight to just tragedy? Because from the outside looking in, it doesn't make sense. Something is off, and that's exactly what her family is saying. They're confused. They're grieving. That like this happened many, many miles away on another continent, and now they're looking for answers that they're just not getting whatsoever. And the fiance is from what we're seeing, the fiance is moving just a little bit weird. It's moving just a little bit weird. But let's look at this other report before we go into a little bit more and get into the Bible.
You guys have probably seen this very sad story circling the internet. Well, now there's been another update. Ashlee Jenae, the influencer who tragically died on vacation, was involved in a dispute with her fiance, Joe McCann, before her death in Tanzania earlier this month, something local police say is now part of an active investigation. According to the North Ongoya Regional Police Commander Benedict Mapujira, the couple had a falling out at the luxury resort Zuri Zanzibar, with hotel staff stepping in and separating them into different rooms.
Okay, so they had an argument about something to the point that they had to be separated. Wow. I don't think that I've ever had an argument with my wife, whether we were dating or even in the fiance stage or even in marriage stage. I don't think I've ever gotten to that level, either with her or for me, to the point that we had to be separated. So Again, from 0 to 100 real quick. I wonder what it is. Let me know in the chat or in the comment section down below. I don't want to suspect, but I just that's crazy that we can go from happiness to just that quickly.
Escalated enough for staff to alert authorities with concerns raised about Ashlee's well-being, prompting a report to the Nungwe police station. Her family says Ashlee, whose real name is Ashlee Robinson, was found unconscious in her villa and rushed to the hospital. Police say she died the following day, Friday the 10th. A local news report indicates police believe she died by Ashlee's father, Harry, tells TMZ that was the early narrative from police, but stresses the family is now involved and the investigation is ongoing. He adds they've been in contact with the embassy and funeral director, and as of now, there is no official ruling on her cause of death.
So this is where we have to be careful, in my opinion, because the internet we're going to jump to conclusions, and I don't want to pile on to the top of the conclusions, but we can acknowledge this right here. There was a delay in communication from the fiance. The family isn't getting any type of clear answers, especially from the fiance that we see on the screen. And we also now have the reports of a dispute before her untimely, passing. And authorities are still investigating. And we already know how investigations happen in other countries. They may not work as quickly as it would necessarily work here in the United States. Now, this doesn't automatically equal guilt, since they said that they, revoked his passport because he can't go anywhere. But it does raise some questions. So I want to be honest for a second as we talk about this. If you're with someone that you claim that you love, amen, you propose to them, you're building a future with them, and suddenly tragedy happens like this, wouldn't there be some type of urgency, some type of transparency, or some type of compassion? Like, even if you were in an argument, wouldn't there be some type of transparency about what they were arguing about, especially, and I mean especially, with the family? Like, the family should at least know. The mom, the pops, they should know. Even if you don't want to tell the news, they should at least have some type of clarity. Hey, listen, oh my gosh, I'm in a state of panic, but okay, listen, we had an argument and we were arguing about this, and this, and we didn't, it got out of control. It got out of control. Like something, if you see what I'm saying. It's like, that's not judgment. It's just basic human decency, if you get what I'm saying. So let's take this a little bit deeper, because I don't want people to miss this. And I do have a Bible verse that I want to share with y'all on this, but situations like this, especially for everyday Christians, this should remind us of something very uncomfortable. Amen. Life is very fragile. It's so fragile. And not everybody values life the way that God does. Not everybody values life the way that, anybody who is a Christian and who knows the love of God, they may not value life the way that we're supposed to value life. I get it. You might be in an argument, and again, I'm not jumping to the conclusion, so anything is alleged, but at the same time, life is so fragile. It doesn't matter what is going on. Life is fragile. Life matters more than anything. It does. It really does. And it's sad to see something like this to happen. I just pray for the family. I pray for what's going on with the family. I pray that they find answers. And I pray that the fiance is, forthcoming, especially, with this particular situation. Amen. I just pray for it. Now, the Bible tells us this right here in Proverbs chapter 4. I want to read verse 23. And it says, guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Amen. That's not just talking about our emotions or our feelings. That's talking about who you trust, who you connect with, who connects, with you in certain ways, who you allow in your life. I honestly learned about this when we were, me and my wife were doing marriage counseling. Amen. And I'm so thankful for that. This is truly about who you allow in your life and who you're allowing to nurture the things that's going on in your life, because relationships is not supposed to be just emotional and love. And oh my gosh, we're so much in love, because a lot of that just wears off. Honestly, relationships should be rooted in spiritual foundations. It should. Because before you build that relationship with someone else, especially, and I mean especially before it's leading to marriage, amen, you need to build a real relationship with God first. That I think so. Each person should have a strong relationship with God where you're equally yoked together to the point that even when situations like this occur, because again, we're gonna have problems. Amen. But when you're equally yoked in God, then you value each other before, regardless of whatever happened. You value each other because without God, your discernment is off. The red flags, they get ignored because I'm pretty sure there were some blaring red flags that was going on. And then your emotions take over your wisdom. And sometimes people find themselves in situations that they never saw coming. And it's so sad. But before we end this, I want to look at Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. And everybody should know this. Regardless of whatever goes on, you trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways know him, and he will make your path straight. That includes who you date, who you travel with, who you're talking to, who you commit your life to, because not everybody has your best interests at heart. Not everybody does. So at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel about her or feel about the relationship or feel about what's going on, a family lost their daughter. Life was cut short at the age of 31. And regardless of whatever the investigation reveals, this pain is very real. It's very real. And it's very sad that something about this entire situation where it was supposed to be happiness went straight to sadness. And now it's a mystery like you see on Unsolved Mysteries. We're still trying to figure this out. And I understand it's still fresh, but it feels like an unsolved mystery type of story. Amen. And the pain is real. Here's my take on this, and hopefully we can learn from this, and hopefully you can take this away if you're dating or you're in a marriage or you're in that particular stage. If you pretty much have a fiance. Amen. Don't rush into relationships without having God as the foundation. I don't want you to. You got to pay attention to those things and make sure that God is laying the foundation for your relationship, because whenever something occurs, because things will occur, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your fiance, whether it's in your marriage, amen, things are going to happen. But if you allow God to be the foundation of your relationship and of your life, then honestly, the discernment for certain situations like this will kick in. It's not just feelings. Doesn't matter what happened. Amen. I know a lot of people have a lot of speculations, but no matter what happens, if God is the foundation of your life, then we're able to see those red flags. We're able to have those discernment moments, and we're able to remember how fragile life is regardless of whatever goes on. And most importantly, let's just make sure Christ is anchored in our life. Amen. So let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe if you enjoy more faith-based content. And please share this with your family and friends so that we can be a blessing to each other. Amen. Amen.